Wishbone Ash are a British rock band from Torquay in Devon, which is in the English West Country. And I guess you could say that the relationship between the rest of Britain and the West Country is a little bit like the relationship between the rest of the states and the Deep South. Uh, yeah. So the band were formed in 1969, like a large number of well-regarded British bands were. I don't know what was in the water that year. Their main success was in the early to mid 70s, but they've had a continued existence since then. They have had enough former members to have a separate Wikipedia page just to list the former members. The only constant is a guy called Andy Powell, who's their lead singer, guitarist, and mandolin player. They have released 23 or maybe 26 studio albums, depends on what your definition is and how you count it. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the third album by Wishbone Ash, and I think it's probably their best known album. I have come across this album before. In fact, I've reviewed it before. So before I was doing these YouTube reviews, thank you for everybody who's watching. Hello. And so I did. I had a blog, and I was reviewing for a readership of about five. Um, which were very precious to me. And then at some point, I abandoned that list and started to do YouTube instead for various reasons. Before that, even, I started my reviewing career. Not that it is in any way something that brings me any money. As a hobby, I did prog rock reviews from a similar kind of list of uh, that had amalgamated so purporting to be the 300 plus so best prog albums of all time, and this was one of them that I reviewed for that. But it was a while back, so I don't actually remember the album from then, but I remember my reaction to it, and I've had a similar reaction to it this time around. But I've given it a higher score, and I've enjoyed it more. So the first thing that I want to get out there is that I don't think that this is a progressive rock album, although that description is being thrown around quite a lot for this album. I would say that it's mostly blues rock with some hard rock and some kind of folk rock feel to it. Maybe the track Warrior could be thought of as prog because it changes in feel. I think musically, stylistically, and structurally, though mostly it is, I wouldn't go down the prog uh, route for this. I think the reason why that label has been attached to it quite commonly is because some of the songs are based in Greek mythology, and so it's that kind of fantasy element to it. I don't think that's enough to make something prog. But I'm just me, and what do I know? And that's not as important as giving you a description of what the music is. So I'll go back to my description, which is blues rock, some hard rock, some folk rock, particularly because you've got some kind of acoustic guitar use in here. It reminds me of anybody of the Allman Brothers Band. Sorry if you don't know that reference. It's kind of rambling blues. Some people might know some Grateful Dead stuff, or various bands that have played live and have just got into this kind of jam. So it feels like extended jams are a big feature of this, and it's something that I really enjoy. Actually, is a good extended jam. Now, one thing that has been commented on is that they've got double lead guitars, and this is a sound that I really like when they play in harmony. So you got it's not really kind of a tune line and a non-tune line. There are various other bands that have done this. Wishbone Ash weren't the first, but they were quite influential in other people going, "Ooh, that's an interesting sound, and we could do that." So sometimes they do that with these written harmonic things for the guitars. Sometimes it's doing rambling solos at the same time, kind of interleaving with each other. And there's a nice skill there to not tread on each other's toes while doing that at the same time. And yeah, so musically, I enjoyed it. Vocally, it's so I'm going to reference somebody again here. I'm sorry when I always feel like I want to try and avoid doing too much of just going reference, 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 because if you don't know the references, that doesn't help you get a description. I'm not very good at describing voices, so I will reference Greg Lake here. It sounds a bit like him in the timbre and the delivery, so that's the kind of the harmonic content and also the way stuff is presented. But I couldn't articulate it better than that, as I said, because I'm not very good at it. It's decent enough. In fact, it's more than decent. I enjoyed the album. I have got over, so I think my lowest score in my previous review was because I was disappointed at how unprog it was when I was um, reviewing prog albums. So, I'm past that now and I'm able to hear it on its own merit. And yeah, I quite enjoy it. So if you've seen this being labelled as prog and you're somebody who doesn't like prog, don't be put off by that, because I think you'd find that whatever your objections are for prog, you probably wouldn't apply to this. Um, and if you've enjoyed, if you think from my description it's something you might want to check out, particularly if you like stuff like Allman Brothers, then you might really enjoy this. I say quite liked it. And I'd love to know what you think. So please do let me know what you think of this album by leaving me a comment. The next album I'm going to review on this channel, actually, I'm going to do a request review next, which is going to be of the album Imaginal Disc by the duo Magdalena Bay. But that's it from me for now.
I find myself beside a stream of empty thought, like a leaf that's fallen to the ground, carried by